Welcome everyone to yesterday's NBA news from the 15th of September, as I have to, redo my text there, reprint the texts, as they say. Okay, alright, let's get into it, man. As you already know, I'm RJ. I talk about NBA and WNBA, which, I mean, I don't think I have to really specify that, since both have NBA in the title. And we talk about what happens, we talk about the games. We'll see how I do this when the NBA starts, because there will be so many games that I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with all of that, but we'll see. I just try to be like a news report, like a telegram or something like that. I don't know if that's even anything in America or in other countries or in foreign countries, but in a, it's like my own television talk show about what happened. Despite, not being like a special basketball player in real life, even though I do play, but I'm not like special. But it's always been something that made me feel like I can, do. But enough about me, more about the NBA, as I've been in my feelings a little more recently, so I guess wanted to express my emotions even here, because it's just been tough. But Marcus Morris is signing a one-year deal with the New York Knicks. He averaged about 6.4 points per game, about 3 rebounds per game, about 1 assist per game last year on 44% shooting from the field, about 40% from the 3-point line, about 82% from the free throw line in 49 games in the regular season, in about 15 minutes per game with Cleveland. And this kind of comes to me as a surprise. I really figured he was going to go back to Cleveland or maybe Philadelphia. I think that those were the reports too, but he goes to the Knicks, and they had a wing guy who, I mean, still got something left in the tank. He obviously still can score, not with the best of them, but he certainly is still a scorer, and I mean, he even showed that against the Celtics in the playoffs this season. But I think this is good for the Knicks as a veteran presence without a question, and a minor deal nonetheless. But let's talk about the WNBA. We had 6 games because the scheduling is truly something. And this was the, what is it? How can I say it? Third last? Does that make sense? Well, we're 2 match days away from the WNBA regular season being over, and that's why all of these games matter even more now. So, first of all, let's talk about A'ja Wilson being the first player in WNBA history to reach 1,000 points in a season. Her and Bam are having fun on Twitter. They're both hilarious. And it's awesome. Good for them. I'm not jealous at all. I'm not jealous at all, surely not. But that's really good for them, and A'ja Wilson, obviously one of the best players ever nonetheless. She's special. I need that jersey soon, and she's just awesome. And I mean, I just want to point out how happy I am about the WNBA's, personalities. I really love a lot of these personalities in these on these teams, and that's just, that makes me even more attracted to the league, even though I wish I had, more chances to watch live, and obviously I can rewatch some, but like I keep repeating, there's not enough time in a day for me to do all of this, while of course trying to figure myself out, trying to work something, and trying to obviously pay the bills, even though I don't pay the bills like completely, right? But the guilt is there sometimes. But let's get into the second news that I wanted to talk about, which is Kamila Cardoso's shoulder injury. She played in the first half against the Phoenix Mercury, but she did not start in the second half, and apparently she played through pain that was what can I say, that was more than she wanted to, or more than felt healthy, even though that doesn't make sense. She just played through too much pain, and that's why she sat down in the second half. And we'll see if she plays a game in one of those 2 games, since the Sky are still in a fight for the playoffs. But obviously her long-term health is way more important than these last 2 games and sneaking into the playoffs, where you probably don't stand a chance, let's be honest, with the Sky, right? So we'll see, but hopefully she's gonna be alright. Love her game, love her personality. So there's that. But let's get into the games finally. The Minnesota Lynx beat the New York Liberty 88-79. Another great performance all around from the Lynx. They were really efficient from the field. The defense has been really solid. They, like I said, shot incredible from the field and from the 3-point line. They really shared the ball as well as it gets. I think they play, I don't know if the best team ball in the league, but they certainly are one of the best teams in the league, and I think they play the most unselfish brand of basketball in a way. Nafisa Collier obviously had 18 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists on 8 of 13 shooting. She was great. But you obviously had Bridget Carlton with 19 points, Courtney Williams with 15 points, Kayla McBride with 11 points, Heinz Allen with 12 points, and Elena Smith with 6 points also. And it feels like they've just done such a good job. And yeah, they're going to be really dangerous in the playoffs without a question. And I don't know, do they still keep hope alive for the number 1 seed? I think if the Liberty lose out and the Lynx win out, they would have the same record, but I don't know the tiebreakers or how does that work. But that is still obviously a long way from happening since the Liberty play the Mystics and the Dream. So even though both teams will be obviously fighting to be in the playoffs, so it should not be easy for the Liberty. But I mean, you expect them to win one of those games nonetheless, to secure the number 1 seed. If they don't already have it secured, and I'm just speaking nonsense, but I don't think I read that. And even though it would, like I said, there is still a mathematical possibility that they would have the same record. If Minnesota wins out, Liberty loses out, they would have the same record. The question is if the tiebreakers weren't already done prior to this game, which I should have just looked up. I will look it up, right? It's that simple, isn't it? Nonetheless, Jonquil Jones got benched while I'll search that. Yeah, she got benched, and her motor just runs so high and low. Like, I don't know how to feel about how to feel about Jonquil Jones overall, and I can't find anything about Lynx Liberty. When we think about obviously number 1, number 2 seed, but yeah, doesn't feel that way. Anyway, Beast Q was against the world today. She was sensational, 38 points, 18 rebounds offensively, but the defense wasn't great enough for the Liberty, and the others just didn't show up for them at all. Sabrina once again, 4 of 21, but she's been better. You can have an off game, obviously. Then the Dream beat the Mystics in overtime, 76-73. They split the 2-game series, if I were to say, and obviously keep the playoff hopes alive. They now have all the same record: the Atlanta Dream, the Washington Mystics, and the Chicago Sky for that last spot in the playoffs. And it was a grindy game. Both teams didn't shoot that well. For the Washington Mystics, it was the 3-point shooting that kept them in the game, while of course the Dream shot much better free throw-wise and from the field, while also once again out-rebounding the Mystics by double digits. Really good win for them. Tina Charles had 20 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals on 8 of 14 shooting from the field. And the Dream, like I said, keep playoff hopes alive. And when we look at the calendar, they play the Sky, which is, well, yeah, that's pretty much gonna decide if they were to make the playoffs, because they play the Liberty next. And the Mystics, like I said, they play both Liberty and Fever, which is tough for them. While when we look at the Sky's schedule, they play the Atlanta Dream and the Connecticut Sun. So that Dream against Sky matchup might very well decide who makes the playoffs and not. That's gonna be the biggest matchup left in this regular season, nonetheless. But let's get into Fever. The Indiana Fever beating the Dallas Wings 110-109. The least surprising offensive shootout, right? Both offenses really explosive, and more likely both defenses really explosive. The big three of the Wings had their most efficient game in a while. Arike had 27, Natasha had 26, Satu had 27, and they were all efficient. But, for example, JC Sheldon was just 2 of 8, which is tough, and Maddie Seegers played just 5 minutes, and I still think that's more important for the Wings than any win can be, right? At least they have more of a chance at the number 1 pick. And, I mean, imagine Paige Beckers with them. That would be intriguing. But obviously the Fever played still really well, hit 16 3-pointers today, which is absurd, and they kept the turnovers down today. It was just Caitlin with 5, which is her usual stuff, but overall they had just 10 turnovers, which is huge, and Caitlin and Kelsey Mitchell are just such a great dynamic duo, right? Kelsey had 30 points and 1 assist on 12 of 21 shooting from the field, and she's just a bucket getter, man. She just is. And she's awesome. We'll see where. I'm pretty sure she's a free agent after the season, so the Fever better do everything they can to retain her, right? And Caitlin, the Rookie of the Year, had 35 points, 2 rebounds, 8 assists on 10 of 22 shooting from the field, and obviously she's not just a Rookie of the Year, guaranteed, but she'll be out there on the MVP ballots for some people, without a question. I mean, she should be on for most people, I would say. It's probably Asia Wilson unanimously, then it's Nafisa Collier, Caitlin Clark. I guess you could put Sabrina or Brianna Stewart. I guess Brianna Stewart makes way more sense there. And then I guess if you were to give to someone like Alyssa Thomas, but I mean, maybe obviously she's a great motor for this Sun team. But it feels like those are the 4 MVP candidates nonetheless. That should be on the ballot. Next up, we have the Storm. The Seattle Storm beat the Los Angeles Sparks 90-87, and it was another close game for the Storm. They let a lead slip away, and they did win, but they've been just really unconvincing, which I keep repeating. But this time they even had injuries. Jewel Lloyd was out with the right knee injury, and Ezzy McGregor was out. Those are 2 starters, of course, which doesn't help you. But Gabby Williams was sensational. 22 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals on 9 of 15 shooting. Nneka Ogwumike was incredible. Nneka, 23 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals on 10 of 16 shooting from the field. And once again, 13 steals for the Storm. They just keep stealing everyone's lunches. And Skylar Diggins-Smith once again clutched 10 of 10 from the free throw line, and she was once again incredible in the 4th quarter with 6 points, 2 steals, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 6 of 6 from the free throw line. So shout out to her, and a good win for the Storm. But I mean, Dearica Hamby, Rikia Jackson, and Odyssey Smith played really well for these Sparks, and that's what you want to see. Because, I mean, Rikia Jackson is the future for them, of course. You obviously want to see Cam Brink next year, and maybe Paige Beckers will be with them too. And then they can maybe think about competing. Next up, we have the Aces beat the Sun. We talked about Asia Wilson's accomplishment. The Connecticut Sun offense was really awful. 27 of 64 from the field. While they didn't turn the ball over without, Bree Jones was great offensively. 7 of 12 from the field. 17 points, 9 rebounds to assist. I wish, they could force feed her 20 shots, but it's just not possible with the way they are constructed and the way they play, and I think obviously the opposing teams won't let her shoot that many times, nonetheless with how dominant she is. Marina Mabrey once again continues her great play, and Tiasha Harris was really good offensively, but Diwana Bonner, Alyssa Thomas, the Lovebirds just weren't great today, even though I still love that so much. I actually love that so much. There's a great article about their love story. If you want to check that out, I might leave a link in the description if I can find it. And Dijonay Carrington was also really bad offensively. And the Aces are back into gears. Just 7 turnovers, shot about 50% from the field, 10 of 24 from the 3-point line, which is also really good. Asia Wilson dominating. Jackie Young had her best game probably since the break, maybe even in the season, but obviously I think she had a better game before that. 13 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists on 5 of 11 shooting from the field. That's huge. Kelsey Plum was great. And you obviously had the role players also play well. Chelsea Gray had a really good all-around game, and the Aces are looking once again way more in gear. They're primed and ready for the playoffs, and they can't move up in the standings, which is obvious. I'm pretty sure, unless I don't think they can, right? So shout out to the Aces, they've been incredible, and they're gonna be once again really dangerous in the playoffs, which we knew, but I mean they're just confirming it right now with this stretch they've been having lately. And lastly, the Mercury beat the Sky 93-88. The Mercury continue to just be whatever, but they won 26 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 Brittany Griner on 12 of 20 shooting from the field, and Diana Taurasi was 25 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists on 10 of 20 shooting from the field. Her best game in a while, and that's all you want to see at the end of the day. And they had just 15 combined turnovers, and got me thinking, what is the lowest turnover games, in the season? But I don't think this is it, but it just felt kind of surprising that they had this low amount of turnovers. No teams, both teams were not in double digits turnover-wise, which is just kind of not something I'm used to in the WNBA. I mean, not in the NBA either, right? Let's be honest, we are not used to that low amount of turnovers in any basketball games, pretty much. But that will do it. With that said, the next game day is on Wednesday. We will have 5 games, and then on Friday we'll finish with 6 games, and the playoffs, the WNBA playoffs start when? When do they start? On September 22nd, which is on Sunday. NFL Sunday, and they start the playoffs. I mean, they probably, if they wanted to really, then they should have the Friday start, and they should start in the Friday afternoon after people are done with work, if I'm keeping it a buck, right? Maybe? I don't know, because obviously in America you will have Sundays for NFL, and Saturdays college football, most likely, for most people in America. Obviously for me, I don't care about that much, but I want the league to grow. So maybe, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, thank you all for listening, thank you all for watching, thank you all for being. Remember, just being is enough, and I'll catch you all whenever, wherever. Be kind to yourself and to others, be gentle with yourselves, and I'll catch you all whenever, wherever next time. Love.